be the creature.
In the heart of tropical Southeast Asia sits the island of Borneo, the third largest island in the world. Its rainforests are home to so many different animals, more than almost any other place on Earth.
We're here up in the trees in the lowland tropical peat forest.
This is thick and expansive forest where 115-foot trees tower over the banks of intricate river systems.
This is the home of one of our closest relatives in the entire creature world, the great red ape, the orangutan. We'll join the orangutan in his struggle for survival and find out what it means to be the great red ape.
The platform in the trees will be our base camp. The canopy is the orangutan's home, so it'll be ours as well.
Orangutan means man of the forest in Malay, and this peat swamp forest, so forbidding to humans, is one of his last strongholds.
What's that? Something moving through the trees.
Could be an orangutan.
I'll go this way. Ow. Hear that? That's it, Chris. That's the flange male.
Big guys, dominant males.
Is that him? Oh, yeah. This way, Chris. Up here. Oh, yeah. Come here. Check it out. There he is.
Yes, this is only one of 24,000 orangutans left in the entire world.
He's huge. Wow. You are looking at the world's largest tree-dwelling mammals. These guys can get up to 200 pounds. They're called flange males because of those huge cheek pads on the side of their face. Made of a fibrous, fatty tissue. They just get bigger and bigger and more impressive looking as he gets older.
Those flanges start to develop when they're between 8 to 15 years old. That's what attracts the females.
And look at that hanging throat sac. That's used to transmit their territorial call as far and wide through the forest as possible.
Plus, they look really cool. The pads make his face look huge. There's beady little eyes in there. Probably one of the most bizarre looking primates, definitely the most bizarre looking ape, is the big cheek pad male.
And you know, when you really look at him, you can see how we share 97% of our DNA with orangs. I mean, with just a few modifications, we'd look just like this guy.
Okay, we're gonna need to build up these cheeks quite a bit. We'll have to take some fatty tissue from the buttocks and insert them here and on this side.
The bigger the cheek pads, the more dominant the male, and that attracts the females. All right, the lips. They need to jut out more.
Some collagen treatments in the lip right underneath here.
Orang lips can manipulate objects better than even their hands can. They can even use their lower lip to look at the food they're eating. Now you can see that Martin's nose is a real mess.
In fact, the nose is gonna have to go.
Smell is an orangutan's weakest sense, so they don't really have much use for a big nose like Martin's.
And these ears, they're elephantine. We're gonna have to bring those down by about 60%.
Orangutans' ears are small, but their sense of hearing is better than ours.
We got a lot of work ahead of us. This is a tough job, but I think we can handle it. I've never really been happy with my appearance. I'm so excited about this. It's going to change my life.
After hours of intensive hacking away at Martin's face, we were successful in transforming his eyes, his mouth, his nose, and his entire face into one he'd never dreamed possible. His reaction?
I love it!
Those flanges may look unusual, but that is a sign that this male orangutan is in his prime.
Yeah, he must be pushing the max of up to 200 pounds. And that shaggy coat doesn't just protect him from the elements. It makes him look bigger, bulkier, and more dominant to the females.
If you ask me, he doesn't need to look more dominant. Man.
Such a massive creature, but so comfortable in the trees. He knows that vine is going to hold him.
He's just in total control. It's going higher.
They're heavy and they're strong, over 7 times the strength of you or I.
And even though they're so massive, they live almost entirely in the trees.
Amazing.
This is the second largest member of the ape family, a group that includes the gorilla, which is the largest, the chimpanzee, the orangutan, and the gibbon.
So what makes an ape instead of a monkey? For one thing, most monkeys have tails. Apes don't. Also, the average size for a monkey is 16 pounds. Apes are much bigger, up to 605 pounds.
But most importantly, it's intelligence. Apes evolved later and have much larger brains relative to their size. An ape brain is 5 times larger than a monkey brain on average. Do you hear that? That.
All around us, circling this forest, is the orangutan's most feared predator.
With razor-sharp teeth, this predator is able to destroy up to 14 orangutan habitats. That's 14,000 acres a day.
It's the chainsaw.
This flange male is on the run, but he's one of the lucky few
Who have avoided the loss of their forest home and the certain death that comes with the roar of the chainsaw.
Chainsaws have already decimated almost half of the forests in Borneo. They're coming from the distance, coming from the southwest. I just hope they're not coming this way.
Yeah, if they do, this guy's in trouble. Chris, he's taking off.
Let's follow him. These big males can have a range of up to 2.5 square miles, so we could be in for a real slog. Martin, I think I see a clearing. Right up ahead. Whoa!
This used to be forest.
The devastation is incredible.
Just charred trees. Some ferns making a comeback, but there won't be forest here for 50 years, not primary forest for hundreds.
Imagine if you were orangutan coming to the edge of your territory and you found this. It would be like half your town being blown up by a bomb or half your house being torched by a fire. If this is your habitat, there's nowhere to go. You can't go next door. That territory is being taken up by another orangutan. There are limited food resources out there.
And there's no future for the orangutan this way. Only in the forest that remains.
And this guy is headed back in, safe for now.
Woo! We are a long way up. Oh, no. Oh, man, I guess we'll get that in the morning.
All right, lights out. You really have a good view from up here.
I know.
What's going on over there?
We unclipped ourselves from our safety harnesses, and it wasn't long before we were down the tree and on the orangutan's trail.
That's not the flange male. It's a different wild orang. Oh, it's a mom and baby. Whoa!
There she is.
Do you see him, Chris?
Yeah. A mother with a baby boy.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like he's about 2 years old. We are so lucky to be here, finding a mother with an infant in the wild.
It's hard enough to find just a wild orangutan, but
Mom with a baby, this is amazing.
Wow, he is really checking us out.
Anything new in his environment, he's gonna try to figure out.
Just like a human kid, a human 2-year-old, that brain is taking in all kinds of new things going on around it in his world.
We ended up calling the son Flame and the mom Blaze, and they would turn out to be critical to the success of this expedition.
Yeah! Oh, what's going on now?
She's moving.
We stuck as close as we could to Blaze and Flame, mother and infant, healthy and free in the wild. But other orangutans, just like them, in this very same forest, have had their lives in the wild end tragically, like this.
Itu tuh, di sana, di sana. Di sana, di sana. Tangkap bayinya, tangkap bayinya, tangkap. Ini mati ya? Ya, kita makan aja malam ini. Ini yang kasih kamu 2 juta ya.
Come on, you can do it. Fight your way back. Fight. He's waking up. This is the Nyaru Menteng Orangutan Reintroduction Center, where this young 2-year-old was rescued from the illegal pet trade, suffering from seizures. And now the center's doctors and workers are trying to give it a fighting chance, rehabilitate it, and return it to the wild. Hundreds of orangutans go through this nightmare every year. They're left motherless, and
Many of the orangutans that arrive here are in need of immediate and intensive medical care. So, Lona, now do we just wait for him to recover?
There isn't much else we can do. He's got fluids on his lungs.
Right.
We're right now trying to give him a very strong antibiotic. It can be a long struggle. It'll take weeks before he's back on his feet again.
Right.
let's hope he pulls through, because if he does, he'll end up with the 282 other orphans at the reintroduction center.
This is Pimu.
And this is Truckle.
And these orangutans around us are all orphans. But luckily for them,
They have ended up here.
This is the sanctuary. This is orangutan school, where all these orphans can start learning the skills they need to know to make a successful journey back to the wild.
The orphans here are just a fraction of the orangutan babies who lose their mothers. Oh, hello, Connie. Each orphan has their own story. Connie's ear was burned off when she was a pet in somebody's home. And KK became blind in a laboratory. And here they can finally get the attention they need because
Psychologically, emotionally, they need the connection to another being.
And since their mothers are gone, it's gotta be us. Our job now is to step into the critical role of surrogate mother. Together, Martin and I, along with the other surrogate moms at the center, will try to teach them how to be an orangutan and fight their way back into the wild.
Flame and Blaze and the other wild orangutans would help show us what orphan orangs need to know.
Look. Oh, this is good.
Martin, I'm gonna check out what she's eating.
that's what she's eating. The fruit of the yellow vine. This is it. Now let's see what's inside, what she's getting at. There is pulp right around the seed, kind of slimy, and she's sucking that right off. And it's really slimy, but it tastes pretty good. You just rolls it around in your mouth, getting all that slimy pulp off, grinding, and spitting out the seeds. Oh, it almost nailed me. Her son is watching her every move.
She is teaching the new generation what to eat.
Oh, he's tasting it. He's tasting the fruit.
Orangutans can't survive on instinct alone. They have to learn. And sharing food is the best way to learn what to eat.
Orangutans eat more than 400 different types of foods, most of them fruit and other parts of plants. So, these young orangutans have to begin building their database of what kind of plants are good to eat, when they're ripe, where to find them.
And it's not just about nutrition. Orangutans eat some plants for medicinal purposes. Our first goal was to help them figure all this out.
Look, Pongo, I found some suli. You want to try some suli? There's one for you and one for me. Watch me, Pongo.
He's watching Chris so intently, taking it all in.
See, we crush it. We crush it so that we can get inside. That's what we're going for, the white stuff on the inside. Now try eating that. Suck the juice.
Orangutan brains are like sponges. They'll watch intensely some new activity or new food type, and they might not take to it right away, but minutes later, hours later, even days later, it clicks and they start doing that behavior.
It's all about imitation.
So if I rip into the wood enough, he might start doing it too. See, look, there's holes in there.
Holes where grubs live.
You can rip it like that. Ooh.
Did you see that grub?
Yeah, good job.
Want to try? Dig in there.
You try. You did it! I got that one, and you got that one. You can eat it. Look, here, I'll show you. You try. See, I ate it. Want me to get you another one? Okay, here you go. Here's another one. Who wants to eat that one? Ooh. See? I ate it. Now you try one. You want to try it? Was it good? We're off to a good start. They're picking, they're licking at it, and actually, this guy is squeezing out the juice.
2 food sources down, 398 to go.
Back in the forest, we kept up with Blaze and Flame. The more information we got, the more we could help those orphans. There she is, and Flame is stuck solidly on her back. Infant orangutans are capable of holding their own body weight using the strength in their fingers, right from an hour after birth. He has to be that strong because Mom is his lifeline.
She will take care of her son for 8 to 10 years. That's a longer period of time than any other creature except humans.
These two are practically inseparable. Orang moms never let their babies go more than an arm's length away.
Come here. Is he? Yes, nursing. 2-year-olds have to drink plenty of milk, and he'll keep on nursing until he's about 7 years old.
That's longer than any other animal. In North America, humans only nurse for about 1 year. Orangutan parenting is all the mother's responsibility.
Flame's dad is long gone. They don't stick around to help bring up the young orangutan. They breed with the female, and then they're off, once again living their solitary life.
As Blaze and Flame settled into their daybed, we headed out to rejoin the flange male. There he is.
There he goes.
Let's follow him.
He's going in deep.
We gotta try to keep up.
Orangutans spend more than 99% of their time in the trees.
Such a heavy creature crashing through the forest. You'd think they'd travel on the ground more and not risk falling. But the food is in the trees, so if you're a large, deliberate climber, the most direct route between the feeding spots is through the trees. And tigers used to roam through these forests, so at times in their history, orangs may have been pressured to live in the trees where it was safer. Not to mention that this forest used to be almost completely underwater, even wetter and muckier than it is today.
It got me!
Any toilet paper? Chris, I need some toilet paper.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
Chainsaw.
If they make it to this part of the forest, this flange male will be in trouble.
That's the roar of the modern-day predator. Not chewing up orangutans directly, but chewing up their homes. 5 million acres of forest gone and sent downriver every year.
But this male was toughing it out. The question was, for how long would he last? When a new orang arrived at the rescue center, we hoped he wouldn't be a familiar face.
In the crate here is a huge adult male orangutan. He was found wandering around the road in a palm oil plantation. His home gone, his habitat gone. He had nowhere else to go but the plantation in search of food. Now we're getting ready to relocate him into some good orangutan habitat. Give him a second chance in the wild. Oh yeah, he is a big male with huge cheek pouches.
But definitely not one we've seen before. The first thing we needed to do was sedate him. A male is 7 times stronger than me. If he wanted to, he could crush my skull.
Yeah, he's going down. The tranquilizer's beginning to take effect. Shouldn't be long now.
And now he's ready to be moved and given a full medical checkup.
Okay, now we do the transfer.
Yeah, just watch it. No, he's got a hook on his neck there, so... Okay,
That is a very solid animal. At least 160 pounds.
Pure muscle.
And there he'll be. We'll take more samples, check his blood, make sure he's in good physical condition so that we can release him into the wild. Now, these fingerprints will go into a database so that he can be identified if he's ever found again. The thumb is the only finger that's shorter than mine. Look at this massive hand, about twice the size of my hand.
And his teeth could crush a coconut, but they can also tell us his age.
5 molars, so he's about 15 to 16 years old, at least.
Should we call him?
Samson, Tarzan.
Zeus is good.
All right.
His life was turned upside down, but if at all possible, we'd make sure that Zeus found his way back to the wild.
As for the orphans, every day they were growing more and more prepared.
This forest behind the center is the playground for the young orangutans. They come here every day, spend all day out here training and learning how to get around in the wild.
How are you swinging? We're gonna help you swing. Whoa. You have a good grip there.
Maybe you don't have such a good grip. It's an absolute priority that these guys know how to move through the forest, because falling from these heights can mean death.
They still need practice. These guys have got to know about the physics of the forest, because this branch isn't holding my weight anymore. So I've got to think fast, and I need to grab on to something else. Thanks, bud. I'm gonna try to maneuver over like you are. You got that tree? Let me use the vine. Come on. You don't need it anymore. You've got the tree. Come on. I'm dying here. Whoa. Okay, I'm loose.
We could get the orphans up a tree and climbing, but moving like an adult orangutan was in a completely different league.
This way. There she is, bending the tree in order to reach for the next.
She uses her body weight to vault,
Boom, and she lets go of the branch. That's how they move.
using trees as pole vaults.
Look at her go. Her proportions of her arms and her legs are so different than ours. They're much better suited for climbing with super long arms and much shorter legs.
Orangutan arms are 30% longer than their legs.
Flame's just hanging out for the ride.
He's observed his mom, and he's got to know his stuff by the time he's 8 years old. He's going to be 10 times the size he is now, and he's got to know which branches will hold him.
An orangutan has 4 ways to hold on: 2 hands plus 2 feet. When moving, they almost always hold on in at least 2 places. You could think of it as safety lines because orangutans are so big and heavy. And to make huge leaps like lighter monkeys is just not an option.
Man, look out for the rain, Chris.
You gotta watch where you stand around here. It's amazing that the orangutans have such control. Ah! Got my hair too.
They are much better climbers than us, and it's all in the way orangutans are built.
Orangutan hands made for the trees.
Extra long fingers, and they can lock into a grip.
At the age of 5, their fingers are already as long as mine.
Orangs have the longest hands of all apes, and an extra joint gives them a locking mechanism, which enables them to hang much longer than humans.
And there's another amazing climbing adaptation. Watch that guy over there. There he goes.
What he's got that I don't is a rotating hip. More than double hinged, it's got full rotation.
All of their joints rotate, so he's able to use his feet
Almost like their hands. Show him your stuff, Bim Bim.
No other ape has got joints that are so mobile, a full 360 degrees, just like our shoulder joints, unique in the creature world.
Of course, it helps to have a thumb on your foot instead of a big toe so your feet can grab too.
Oh, hello, you.
Come on, guys, we're moving to a new section of forest.
When they finally travel through the forest on their own, they'll have to be prepared to meet all kinds of creatures.
All these young orangutans have to know about snakes.
Because nobody is immune to the bite of venomous snakes. So what we're gonna do is take this rubber snake and introduce it to the young orangutans. I'm gonna act afraid of it, so they're afraid of it too. How you doing, all right? I'm gonna teach you about snakes, okay? I'm gonna teach you about snakes, ready? Look at this, a snake, run, run. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Ah, ah, it worked. Look, look where he went, right over to Chris.
Excellent. You run from snakes. That's what you do.
Wow, he learns fast. Orangutans are smart. They learn from your reaction how to react. And being another species teaching them about the ways of the forest, it's better to teach them to fear all snakes. All right, we have 2 more students who've come to snake school. Let's try it with the 3 of you. Just do it here. So this guy's... Uh-oh, snake! Snake! Run! Run away, run! Snake, go run!
The other 2 took off, but this one didn't. We'll have to keep trying. Spending this time with these young orangutans, it was impossible not to see the intelligence in their eyes. So observant, so thoughtful. They were like children.
Orangutans are known for being very curious about the things and the happenings in their environment. They manipulate things for so long. And these are some of the signs of intelligence. So you can tell these creatures are smart.
But just how smart are they? How does orangutan intelligence stack up against the other apes? The chimpanzee, the gorilla? And how do they compare to us humans?
Recognition of self in a reflection is one of the things intelligent animals like humans can do, and orangutans can do it too.
All of the great apes, the orangutan, the chimp, the gorilla, are so connected to humans. In fact, they share up to 98% of our DNA. And just like us, they all live in social groups where they learn from one another.
There's a huge variation in the creaturality of each ape.
Right off the top, orangutans are much more arboreal, spending their lives up in the trees. Chimpanzees come to the ground much more than orangutans do. And gorillas rarely go into the trees at all. Compared to chimpanzees, orangutans and gorillas are considered to be the more gentle of the great apes. But all of these creatures do certain things that we would consider violent. Young orangutans sometimes rape female orangutans, and female gorillas will fight each other for the dominant male's attention. Chimpanzees have wars against neighboring tribes. They kill members of their own troop, and they go on organized hunting raids to kill monkeys. Strangely enough, all these things are things humans do too. And maybe more than anything else, what makes the great apes so much like humans is their brain power.
They can plan, problem solve, and imitate. Like this orangutan who began washing clothes after simply observing humans. And tool use is a natural talent for chimps and orangutans. It was the orphan's next survival skill to master.
All right, while nobody's looking, I'm gonna put some honey in this hole of the tree to simulate a beehive that they would find naturally in the forest. And then I'm gonna teach the orangutan-style technique of how to get honey from a beehive using a tool. Now, let me show you something. First, what you do, first you get a stick. No, don't use your finger. You use a stick. Buddy, not your lips, not your lips. The bees will sting you. Here, use the stick. Watch me, watch me. Look at this, watch this. Watch the stick, watch the stick. In the hole. Good. Here, I'll help you. Yeah. In the hole. He's getting a little frustrated using the stick. He doesn't have quite the dexterity to be able to stick it into the hole yet. It always gets stuck around the edges. Put it in. Put it in. Yes, you did it. Perfect. Brilliant creature. Excellent.
Every once in a while, An orangutan gets a hankering for protein. They'll eat eggs, chicks, squirrels, but insects are a major satisfier of the protein craving. She's got a termite stick in her mouth. Termites are a great source of protein for an orangutan, and they can be found burrowed inside wood.
See, termites. He's latched onto my finger.
Once they're located, the orangutan sucks them up. Termites can also be found in bizarre and ball-shaped nests. The termites make them from regurgitated food and feces. A termite ball.
Just what an orangutan's looking for. Whoa, this is hard. The orangutans bite them open with their powerful jaws.
Jaws that can bite through a coconut.
But I'm not making any progress on this.
Can't even get through. And there they are, tiny little termites.
So what the orangutan does is just put those big orangutan lips in there.
Not bad, good protein.
The orphans picked up termite hunting fast.
Look at all these. Termite bonanza.
Great, good, dig into it.
Oh, yes, right down there.
Yeah, they love termites. These guys are well on their way to heading back into the wild.
And so is Zeus. He passed his physical, finished quarantine, and his re-release was just a matter of days away.
Nice footwork, nice handwork.
After spending months, even years, learning what to eat and what not to eat, and how to move, and every skill necessary to become a wild orangutan, some of these orphans are ready
For the next step in their return to the wild.
Before final release, it's pre-release at Kaja Island.
We're heading out to the pre-release islands with a big sack of food for the orangutans.
This supplements their diet at this key transitional stage where they're moving from being totally cared for in captivity to being completely independent and on their own in the wild.
There's one.
Oh, yeah. That's cool to see them on the riverbank.
Yeah. These islands are perfect pre-release sites because they're controlled, but without any fences, without any barriers except the natural barrier of the river.
Orangutans hate to swim.
This is the spot.
There it is.
All right. Here are some of the inhabitants on the island coming to greet us. The residents of this island are anywhere from 5 to 15 years old. Most of them are about 7 to 10. It's the transition phase.
They have very little contact with people from the days at the orangutan school.
Chris wants into some termites.
Oh yeah, they're finding food on their own.
Let's find a place to dock on this island.
This little branch of the river will take us deeper inside the forest.
And we'll be closer to the feeding spot.
You can tell by the way they're all gathering that they still need that supplemental food. They're not ready to go it on their own in the wild yet.
There are 44 orangutans living on this 108-hectare island.
In the wild, an area this size could support maybe 2 orangutans. So the supplemental feeding isn't just about training, it's also about survival for now.
They need this food to sustain them before final release.
All right, now we put it on this platform right here. An offering to our friends, one of the last bits of food that they'll get. There you go, bud. Soon they'll have to completely fend for themselves.
Look at this big male. He is about 10 years and he's stealing the other male's corn. These subadult males are already asserting their dominance in hopes of one day becoming the big, dominant flange male. just like the one we met in the wild. Look at that 10-year-old. His flanges are starting to grow.
Hey, Martin, better get out of here. We don't want to stay here too long.
That's right, because these orangutans are being weaned off of human contact as well. They don't want to be used to humans anymore when they're living in the wild. They want to avoid humans.
The less contact, the better.
What'd you do that for?
Okay, I get the message. Let's get out of here, because it's about the time that Zeus is ready to be released.
Zeus has been prepped and packed safely into a crate by the center's workers, so he can be airlifted by helicopter and relocated back to the forest.
He's in for a 20-mile journey, and Chris and I are making the trip by boat up the Mentengai River. We're heading up this tributary to a section of forest that is to become the new home for a very lucky orangutan.
Zeus is one of the lucky few orangutans to get a second chance in the wild. We're heading up this tributary northeast to meet the helicopter. The rendezvous point is at the edge of the Mawas Forest Reserve.
Got some thick stuff.
Proboscis monkey! Stop, stop, stop! Oh, wow! Proboscis monkeys! What a honker on that guy. Proboscis monkeys have huge noses. Why? There are two reasons. Probably either to release heat or to help in sexual selection. Now, females love those big noses that the males have. The females have much smaller noses, and the young proboscis monkeys even have dainty upturned noses. This primate is the best swimmer of all the primates. They'll dive into water from 50 feet up in the air.
This is a rare monkey, extremely endangered. Only 8,000 left in the world, only found on this island of Borneo. All right, let's go. Crank it up. All right, ready, let's go.
Gotta go meet Zeus.
Oh yeah, there he is! He's on his way!
Okay, we picked a patch of forest that has some orangutans, but fewer than the forest can hold. So there's room in this forest for more orangutans. It was once a logging project that was since halted and stopped. And now this forest is protected, so it's a great place for new orangutans.
This is the spot where we're meeting the helicopter. We've got a big team on the ground.
Once it's cleared, it's the drop zone.
And then we're gonna release him.
All right, looks good. Now it's just a waiting game.
Zeus had arrived.
Here. There's his hand. He's ready to go. 1, 2, 3, go. He's sitting tight, but he might go any second. Okay, nothing really goes according to plan. We're all set for the orangutan to make a quick break. But it's about half an hour now. He's barely moved. He's eating the bananas inside and doesn't want to go anywhere. He's got some great food. He's comfortable in there. We're on orangutan time. He's moving a little, 2 hands out now.
Ambling down the log. long hands dragging. Oh, what a luck. Back to the forest. Living free and in the wild.
That was great. The man of the forest returns home.
What a creature.
It's great to be able to help them.
Zeus was one of the lucky ones, and we hope each and every orangutan at the rescue center will eventually complete his or her own journey home.
Home to a life where they can once again be the orangutan, a truly great ape.